The body of slain Sergeant Vusi Mabena has now arrived at the Waterkloof Air Force Base in Pretoria. Mabena, who was part of the UN peacekeeping mission in the DRC, was shot while flying an aircraft that was headed for Goma. Defence Minister Thandi Modise and Chief of the South African Defence Force praised Mabena for his service.
Just a short while ago, so the remains of Sergeant Mabena just went to the mortuary, and of course quite a very moving moment for the family as they really came to terms with this tragedy, but also quite a loss for the South African National Defence Force. It's part of Modise, based in the DRC, trying to stabilise that part of the continent. Joining us now is of course the top brass of SANDF. I'm just going to start with you, General. Obviously, you spoke about the circumstances that you will continue to make sure that you get to the bottom of the truth in relation to this incident. So far, what do we know?
Currently, our members that are in DRC have now, under MONUSCO, instituted a board of inquiry, because for every loss of life, we put together a board of inquiry to determine the circumstances surrounding the loss itself. However, when it comes to what we intend doing going into the future, DRC, and particularly the Eastern DRC, hasn't seen peace, and therefore we will continue to maintain our presence until the Eastern DRC experiences peace. So our contingent, which is an element within the MONUSCO and the FIB in particular, will continue to support the effort of the UN in trying to stabilize and protect civilians as well as those who cannot protect themselves.
All right, General, thank you so much. And just to bring you into this conversation as well, Minister, you said, this young man really paid an ultimate price, dying in foreign land, trying to achieve peace. Maybe just your immediate reaction in light of this tragedy.
Well, I think it's what in some cultures they would call a good death. Dying for what you believe in, dying for other people, and dying to ensure that that which people are undertaking, the greater good, in your own way you contribute towards. So it is not a shameful death, and that is why we are saying, may we never forget this soldier. For us, it is also a little bit of a sore point because there are very few engineers in the Air Force. Getting one as good as this one, getting one that is also prepared to stay away from home, the sacrifice family life in the way this one has done. It's a little bit of a thing. But the Air Force is big enough. The Air Force must grow. And South Africa must never forget the sacrifices that we have made on our own behalf and on behalf of SADC. But may we also ensure that that voice of South Africa is not dimmed in calling for stability, in fighting for peace. Because in fact, if we withdraw right now, we are going to create a greater problem for this country. Because we will not be able to stem the tide flowing into this country. So sometimes you contribute towards building peace in the communities there so that they can take care of their own business, grow up, grow together, grow their economies, help us grow together in that economy, and so that overall there is peace. But as for the project of silencing the guns, I always call out the strong men of Africa. I think that the AU is not doing us a favor as women of this continent in not actually facing up and dealing with the issues which continue to create fertile grounds for people to think that they can jump into other people's countries and take what they want. And if they don't, they can kill at will. But we must grow ourselves as Africa so that we can be independent, so that we don't feel bullied by anybody, but so that we can continue to contribute also to other nations that might need us. So, yeah, no, it's not a great day for us.
That's the current situation here in Centurion, as of course the mortal remains of Sergeant Mabena just returned in the country. Obviously, SANDF top brass is here to make sure that he got quite a very good reception, so to speak, and most importantly, making sure that he does get the very honours that he deserves in light of the circumstances and how he perished as part of the UN peacekeeping mission that's currently in the DRC. Khalihle Khumalo, SABC News, Centurion.